The purple one, the artist formerly known as Prince, the most badass musician you never met. Whatever you called him, however you knew him, there was no denying his impact. I first saw him live in 2007 at the O2 Arena in London. Even after all this time, even with my rose-tinted glasses on, no one prepared me for the chaos. From the second he struck the opening chords of 1999, I was hooked. At 48 years old, he commanded the stage with the energy of someone half his age. Then came Purple Rain. The whole audience sang along, even me, despite having no idea what the words meant. What I do remember is thinking, damn, if that's what rock looks like, sign me up. When he died in 2016 at 57, I was heartbroken. Like millions of others, I looked to his music for solace. Each song was an experience, a feeling, a moment in time. But today, over 7 years later, his music still feels relevant. In fact, it feels timeless. Today, let's dive into the enigmatic life of Prince and discover why he was unlike anyone else, both then and now. Before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe. It really helps us keep going. Now let's begin. He was a paradox wrapped in ruffles and bathed in purple light, a 5'2" giant who could shred a guitar harder than Hendrix, a funk soul brother who outsold Michael Jackson, a recluse who partied like a rock god. Born Prince Rogers Nelson on June 7, 1958, he grew up in a middle-class black family in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Prince showed signs of greatness from an early age. By 7, he was playing piano and guitar by ear. By 13, he was jamming with jazz musicians twice his age. When his parents divorced, young Prince channeled his pain into music, penning his first composition, Soft and Wet Dreams. By 15, he was writing jingles for local businesses and performing in nightclubs. His natural talent was undeniable. All he needed was a chance. In 1976, at 19, Prince was signed by Chris Moon, a local promoter, under one condition: total creative control. It was unheard of for an artist to have such freedom, especially one so young. But Prince was not your typical artist. He was a songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, producer, and showman all rolled into one. His debut album, For You, was released in 1979. It showcased his prodigious talent but lacked direction. Prince was too talented, too young, too raw. He needed guidance. Enter Queen Elizabeth, aka Susan Rogers, Prince's longtime friend and confidant. She convinced him to experiment, to fuse funk, rock, and soul into something new, something raw, something electric. The result was Controversy, an album that announced Prince's arrival. Tracks like I Wanna Be Your Lover and Head became instant classics. Prince was here, and he wasn't afraid to stir things up. Controversy followed him from the start. His next album, 1999, cemented his status as a global superstar. With its infectious beats and prophetic lyrics, it hinted at Prince's fascination with the end of the world, a theme that would resurface in his most iconic work. But it was Purple Rain in 1984 that catapulted him to superstardom. More than just an album or a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon. It told the story of a musician grappling with love, loss, and fame. Prince poured his soul into every note, every lyric. The soundtrack became the best-selling album of all time for a black artist, staying atop the charts for an incredible 31 weeks. At the height of his fame, he changed his name to a symbol. It might seem baffling now, but back then it was radical. Prince was never one to compromise, and as he tasted greater success, he felt increasingly trapped by his record label, Warner Brothers. He couldn't release music fast enough for them. He couldn't experiment enough. They wanted more of the same, so he rebelled. In 1993, Prince dropped a bombshell. He legally changed his name to a symbol. Overnight, he went from being Prince to the artist, formerly known as Prince to the world's biggest pop star. It was a stunt, yes, but it was also a silent protest against the rigidity of the music industry. He refused to be pigeonholed, categorized, or controlled. He demanded artistic freedom, and he was willing to walk so that others could run. But this is where things get complicated. See, Prince was never just an artist. He was a brand that Warner Brothers had a lot of money invested in. They weren't about to let him walk away without a fight. What followed was a very public legal battle. Prince fought hard, but ultimately lost. He was forced to continue making music under the Warner Brothers banner. But the spirit of rebellion remained, morphing into one of Prince's most prolific periods. Albums like The Gold Experience, Time, and The Rainbow Children were released under the Warner Brothers label, but they were unmistakably Prince. They were raw, they were honest, and they pushed boundaries. He wasn't just making pop hits anymore. He was creating experiences, musical journeys that took listeners on a trip through his mind. Then came the internet. Prince, the OG rebel, understood the power of the internet before most. He embraced it, experimented with it, and used it to connect with his fans in ways never seen before. He was one of the first artists to embrace streaming, releasing music videos and albums online before YouTube and iTunes were a dime a dozen. He even launched his own website, lovesexmagic.com, offering exclusive content and merchandise. Prince wasn't just a musician, he was a visionary, a pioneer in a digital age. But with every great artist, there's a tragic side. Prince battled demons that haunted him throughout his career. In the early 1990s, he began experiencing severe pain, exhaustion, and weight loss. Doctors misdiagnosed him, attributing his symptoms to stress and stage fright. But it was much more sinister. Prince had contracted the virus that causes AIDS. In the highly publicized trial that followed, medical experts revealed the shocking truth. Prince was not HIV positive. He had full-blown AIDS. Despite the shockwaves this news sent through the world, Prince remained stoic, turning to his music for solace. He poured his fear, anger, and ultimately hope into his art. Tracks like "The Most Beautiful Girl in the World" and "My Computer" are haunting reminders of his battles, both seen and unseen. He kept reinventing himself. Throughout his career, Prince defied categorization. He seamlessly blended genres, eras, and emotions. Funk, rock, soul, pop, jazz, hip-hop. Prince made it all his own. He drew inspiration from the greats, James Brown, Sly Stone, Jimi Hendrix, and David Bowie, but he never imitated them. Instead, he absorbed their essence and added his unique twist. He wasn't just a musician. He was a musical alchemist, transforming the familiar into the extraordinary. This brings us to another fascinating aspect of Prince's life, his vast and mysterious vault. Deep within his Paisley Park studio lies a climate-controlled room containing thousands of unreleased songs, entire albums, and even collaborations with music legends. This vault isn't just a curiosity. It's a testament to Prince's creativity and his perfectionism. He recorded music constantly but only released a fraction of it. What's in the vault remains largely unknown, adding to Prince's mystique. Could there be lost masterpieces, secret collaborations? Who knows? What we do know is that Prince left behind a treasure trove that ensures his music will continue to resonate for generations. He dressed like a woman. Forget gender norms. Forget societal expectations. Prince dressed for self-expression, for feeling, for the sheer joy of it. He wasn't afraid to blur the lines, to break the rules, to redefine masculinity. For Prince, clothing was armor, a shield against the mundane, a celebration of individuality. His style was a kaleidoscope, a fusion of textures, colors, and silhouettes. One day he might wear a tailored suit, the next a flowing dress. But it wasn't just about the clothes. It was about the attitude, the confidence, the unapologetic embrace of one's authentic self. Prince didn't care what you thought. He lived on his own terms, dressed on his own terms, and in doing so, he inspired countless others to do the same. After his death, the world realized it had lost a once-in-a-lifetime artist. The void left by Prince's passing is immeasurable. His music, His style, his spirit, continued to inspire and influence artists across genres. He was a trailblazer, a rebel, a visionary. His music transcended race, class, and sexual norms. He was the ultimate artist, the one who dared to be different, to push boundaries, to live life on his own terms. Now it's your turn. What's your favorite Prince memory? What song takes you back to a special time? Share your stories below and subscribe for more deep dives into the artists who shaped our times. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and times of Prince. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more engaging content. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.